Hey everyone, welcome back to Daily English Actually. I'm Sophie and I'm here with.
Alex! Hey, good to see you all again.
How are you doing today, Alex?
I'm doing great, Sophie. It's been a beautiful week here in New Hampshire. The weather is finally warming up a bit. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, the weather has been nice. I actually went for a long walk yesterday at that trail near Lake Winnipesaukee. It was gorgeous.
Oh, nice. I love that area. It reminds me a bit of some places back in Ontario. The lakes, the trees. But I have to say, I don't miss those Canadian winters anymore.
Yeah, winters here are cold enough, right?
Exactly. So, Sophie, what are we talking about today?
Well, today we have a really fun topic. We're going to talk about how to share your best travel stories in English.
Oh, I love this topic. Travel stories are the best. Like when you meet someone new and they ask, "Hey, have you traveled anywhere interesting?" It's such a great conversation starter.
Absolutely. And the thing is, when you travel, you collect all these amazing experiences and memories. But sometimes, when you want to tell someone about them in English, you might not know the right words or how to make your story interesting.
Right. So today we're going to help you with that. We'll practice some useful vocabulary and phrases that you can use to tell really engaging travel stories.
Exactly. And we'll share some of our own travel stories too. I think that'll be fun.
Definitely. So, Sophie, let me ask you, what's one of your most memorable trips?
Ooh, great question. Let me think. I would say my trip to Iceland a few years ago. That was just wow, incredible.
Iceland? No way. I've always wanted to go there. What made it so special?
Well, the landscapes were just breathtaking. I saw these massive waterfalls, black sand beaches, and the northern lights.
Breathtaking. That's such a good word.
It really is. Breathtaking means something is so beautiful or impressive that it almost takes your breath away.
Ah, I love that. So you could say the view from the mountain was breathtaking.
Exactly. Or the sunset over the ocean was breathtaking. It's a really useful word when you're describing beautiful places.
Perfect. So, Sophie, tell me more about Iceland. What did you do there?
Well, we did a road trip around the island. That was amazing because every few hours, the scenery would completely change. Like one moment you're driving past green hills, and the next moment you see volcanic rocks everywhere.
Oh, wow. Road trips are the best for that, aren't they? You get to see so much.
Definitely. And one day we went to this place called the Blue Lagoon. It's this huge geothermal spa.
Wait, geothermal? What does that mean?
Oh, good question. Geothermal means it's heated by natural heat from inside the earth. So the water in the Blue Lagoon is naturally warm because of volcanic activity underground.
Oh, that's so cool. So, like the earth itself heats the water?
Exactly. It's really unique. The water is this beautiful milky blue color, and it's full of minerals that are good for your skin.
That sounds amazing. I need to add Iceland to my travel list.
You definitely should. So, what about you, Alex? What's one of your best travel experiences?
Let me think. Oh, I know. A few years ago, I took a trip to Japan. That was unforgettable.
Japan. Oh, I've heard it's incredible. What did you love most about it?
Well, first of all, the culture was just so different from what I was used to. Everything was so organized and clean, and the people were so polite and respectful.
Yeah, I've heard that about Japan. So, what did you do there?
So I spent most of my time in Tokyo and Kyoto. Tokyo was, super modern and busy, like just non-stop energy. but Kyoto was more traditional. Beautiful old temples, peaceful gardens.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Did you visit any specific temples?
Yeah, I went to this famous temple called Kinkakuji, the Golden Pavilion. It's literally covered in gold leaf, and it sits right next to this peaceful pond. The reflection in the water was just, it was stunning.
Stunning. Another great word for describing something beautiful.
Right. Stunning means extremely impressive or beautiful. Like it makes you stop and stare.
Perfect example. So you could say, she wore a stunning dress to the party.
Exactly. Or the mountain views were absolutely stunning.
Love it. So, Alex, what else did you do in Japan?
Well, I also tried a lot of different Japanese food. That was actually one of the highlights of the trip.
Oh, highlights. That's another useful travel word. When we talk about the highlights of a trip, we mean
The best parts, the most memorable moments.
exactly. So Alex's highlights were the temples and the food. What kind of food did you try?
Oh man, everything. Real sushi, obviously, and let me tell you, it's so much better in Japan than anywhere else. I also tried ramen, which was incredible, and there was this one night I had this traditional meal called kaiseki. It was like a fancy multi-course dinner with all these tiny, beautiful dishes.
That sounds amazing. Japanese food culture is so different from ours, isn't it?
Totally. And you know what else was interesting? The vending machines everywhere. Like you could buy hot coffee or soup from a vending machine on the street. In Ontario, we don't really have that, and definitely not here in New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's so true. We just have regular snack machines. So, Alex, when you tell your Japan story to people, how do you usually start?
Good question. I usually start with something like, a few years ago, I had the chance to visit Japan, and it was honestly one of the best trips of my life.
That's a great opening. Starting with when you went and how you felt about it really hooks people in.
Right. And then I usually mention one or two highlights to give them an idea of what made it special.
Perfect. That brings up a good point. When you're telling a travel story, it's important to have a good structure. You don't want to just ramble on about everything you did.
Ramble. Oh, that's a useful word. Sophie, can you explain that?
Sure. To ramble means to talk for a long time in a confused or unclear way, jumping from topic to topic without much organization.
Ah, okay. So I don't want to ramble, but let me tell you about my trip.
Exactly. Or you could say, sorry, I'm rambling. Let me get to the point.
Got it. So when you tell a travel story, you don't want to ramble. You want to be clear and organized.
Right. A good structure might be first say where you went and when, then share one or two highlights, then maybe tell one specific interesting story or moment, and finally end with how it made you feel or what you learned.
That's really helpful. So, Sophie, let me ask, in your Iceland trip, was there one specific moment that really stood out?
Oh, definitely. There was this one night when we were driving through this really remote area. It was dark and we pulled over because we saw some lights in the sky. At first, I didn't know what it was, but then I realized it was the northern lights.
Wow, no way.
I know. We just stood there in the freezing cold, watching these green and purple lights dance across the sky. It was magical. Like, I had seen photos before, but seeing them in person was completely different.
I bet that must have been an unforgettable experience.
It really was. Actually, unforgettable is a perfect word to use in travel stories.
Oh yeah, unforgettable means something you will never forget because it was so special or impressive.
Exactly. So you could say, my trip to Iceland was unforgettable. Or, seeing the northern lights was an unforgettable moment.
Perfect.
And you know what? When Sophie tells that story, she uses really vivid details, like freezing cold and green and purple lights dancing across the sky. Those details make the story come alive.
Thank you. Yeah, details are really important. They help your listener imagine what you experienced.
Absolutely. Let me give you another example. When I tell people about Japan, I don't just say, I went to a temple. I say, I visited this golden temple that reflected perfectly in a calm pond with fall leaves all around. See the difference?
Exactly. The details paint a picture. Okay, let's do a little role play to practice. Alex, pretend you're meeting me at a party, and I'm going to ask you about your travels.
Okay, sounds good.
So, hey, I heard you just got back from a trip. Where did you go?
Oh yeah, I just got back from Costa Rica. It was absolutely amazing.
Costa Rica. That sounds fun. What did you do there?
Well, I spent most of my time exploring the rainforests. I went ziplining through the trees, which was thrilling, and I also visited some beautiful beaches on the Pacific coast.
Thrilling. Oh, Alex, what does thrilling mean?
Ah, good question. Thrilling means really exciting and exhilarating. It makes your heart beat faster.
Oh, I love that. So you could say, riding a roller coaster is thrilling.
Exactly. Or, skydiving was the most thrilling experience of my life.
Perfect. Okay, back to the role play. So you went ziplining. What was that like?
It was incredible. You're basically flying through the rainforest canopy, and you can see monkeys and colorful birds all around you. The adrenaline rush was insane.
Wow, that sounds unforgettable. Did you have any scary moments?
Well, there was one time when I was on this really long zip line, and halfway through, I looked down and saw how high up I was. My stomach just dropped. But it was also, kind of fun being scared.
I love that. Okay, that was great. So, listeners, did you hear how Alex structured his story? He started with where he went, mentioned the highlights, gave specific details about the zip lining, and even shared a personal moment about feeling scared. That's exactly how to tell a good travel story.
Nice. And Sophie, you asked good follow-up questions, which kept the conversation going naturally.
Thanks. Yeah, asking questions is important too. It shows you're interested and helps the story develop. Okay, let's try one more role play. This time, I'll tell a story and you ask questions.
Sounds good. Okay, Sophie, so I saw on your Instagram that you went somewhere last month. Where did you go?
Oh yeah, I went to New Orleans for the first time.
New Orleans? That's awesome. What made you decide to go there?
Well, I've always been curious about the city because I love jazz music and I wanted to experience the culture there. Plus, I heard the food is incredible.
Oh, the food. Did you try any special dishes?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I tried so many things. I had beignets, which are these amazing French donuts covered in powdered sugar. I also had authentic gumbo and jambalaya. Everything was so flavorful.
Flavorful. That's a great word for describing food.
It is. Flavorful means something has a strong, pleasant taste, like it's full of flavor.
Right. So you could say, this soup is really flavorful, or the spices made the dish more flavorful.
Exactly. So yeah, the food in New Orleans was incredibly flavorful. And the music, every night there was live jazz in the streets. I just walked around the French Quarter listening to different bands.
That sounds so cool. Was there a moment that really stood out to you?
Yeah, there was this one evening when I stumbled upon a small jazz club. It was crowded and smoky, and this older gentleman was playing the trumpet. He was so talented, and the whole room was just mesmerized.
Mesmerized?
Yes, mesmerized means completely captivated or fascinated by something, like you can't look away.
Ah, so everyone in the room was mesmerized by his music?
Exactly. Everyone was just standing there, completely focused on his playing. It was such a special moment.
That's beautiful. And again, listeners, notice how Sophie used specific details. The smoky room, the older gentleman, the trumpet. Those details make the story vivid and interesting.
Thank you. Okay, so we've talked about how to tell travel stories. Let's quickly review some of the useful vocabulary we've covered today.
Good idea. So first we had breathtaking. Sophie, remind us what that means?
Breathtaking means something is so beautiful or impressive that it almost takes your breath away. For example, the view from the top of the mountain was breathtaking.
Perfect. Next we had stunning, which is similar. It means extremely impressive or beautiful.
Right, like she looked stunning in her wedding dress.
Great. Then we talked about highlights, which are the best or most memorable parts of something.
Yes, the highlights of my trip were the food and the people.
Exactly. We also covered unforgettable, which means something you'll never forget because it was so special.
Like, meeting the Dalai Lama was an unforgettable experience.
Perfect. And then we had thrilling, which means really exciting and exhilarating.
Right. The roller coaster ride was absolutely thrilling.
Good. We also learned flavorful, which describes food that has a strong, pleasant taste.
This curry is so flavorful. I love all the spices.
And finally, mesmerized, which means completely captivated or fascinated.
The children were mesmerized by the magic show.
Excellent. So those are 7 really useful words for talking about travel and experiences.
Definitely. Now, let's give our listeners some practical tips for telling their own travel stories.
Okay, so tip number 1, start with a hook. Say something interesting right away to grab attention, like, you won't believe what happened to me in Morocco.
Yes, that makes people curious. Tip number 2, use vivid details. Don't just say, the beach was nice. Say, the beach had soft white sand and crystal clear turquoise water.
Great tip. Number 3, share your emotions. Tell people how you felt. I was nervous. I was amazed. I felt peaceful. These feelings help people connect with your story.
Absolutely. Tip number 4, include one specific moment or anecdote. Don't try to tell your whole trip. Pick one memorable moment and tell it well.
Perfect. And tip number 5, end with a takeaway. Maybe what you learned or how the trip changed you. Like, that trip taught me to be more adventurous. Or, I came home with a new appreciation for different cultures.
These are all such good tips. You know what? I think our listeners should practice. Next time you travel, even if it's just a weekend trip somewhere nearby, try telling someone about it using these techniques.
Yeah. And here's a fun exercise. Think about a trip you've already taken and try to tell that story to yourself in English. Practice out loud. It might feel weird at first, but it really helps.
That's great advice. You can even record yourself on your phone and listen back. See where you struggle with words and look those up.
Exactly. And remember, telling stories is a skill. The more you practice, the better you'll get.
So true. You know, Alex, I feel like traveling and learning languages go hand in hand. When you travel, you're forced to use the language in real situations.
Oh, absolutely. When I was in Japan, I tried to use my basic Japanese as much as possible. Even though I made tons of mistakes, people really appreciated the effort.
Right. And those mistakes are part of the adventure. They become funny stories later.
So true. Actually, I have a funny story about that. When I was in Japan, I went to a restaurant and tried to order water, but I accidentally said the wrong word and I think I asked for a horse or something.
No way.
I know. The waiter looked so confused. But then we both just laughed and he helped me say it correctly. It was embarrassing at the moment, but now it's one of my favorite memories.
See? Those unexpected moments make the best stories, and it shows that making mistakes in a foreign language is totally normal and okay.
Exactly. So, listeners, don't be afraid to make mistakes when you're speaking English or any other language. It's all part of learning.
Definitely. Okay, I think we should start wrapping up. But before we go, Alex, do you have any final advice for our listeners?
Yeah, I would say travel when you can, even if it's just to a nearby city or town. And when you do, really pay attention to your experiences. Notice the details, the smells, the sounds. Those observations will make your stories richer.
That's beautiful advice. And I would add, don't wait until your English is perfect to start telling stories. Start now. Share your experiences with friends, language partners, or even just practice by yourself. Every time you tell a story, you're improving.
Absolutely. And remember, the goal isn't to sound like a native speaker. The goal is to communicate clearly and share your unique experiences.
Perfectly said. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of Daily English Actually.
We hope you learned some useful vocabulary and feel more confident about sharing your travel stories in English.
If you have any questions or if you want to share one of your own travel stories, feel free to leave a comment or send us a message.
Yeah, we love hearing from you guys. And if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who's learning English.
Great idea. Okay, until next time, keep practicing, keep traveling, and keep learning.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.